Hi everybody, my name is Justin. Welcome to Game On, a show usually all about tabletop gaming, from RPGs to board games and everything in between. This is a different kind of video, only because I just find it interesting and I just want to talk about it a little bit. The day that this comes out, June 6th, 2024, is the 80th anniversary of D-Day, which is Operation Overlord, which is also part of Operation Neptune. I'm not a big grand historian, so I can't tell you exactly how all those names interchange with each other, but I just find it, I don't know, it's kind of like one of those somber days where it's like 80 years ago, people my age and younger were fighting. I mean, they still are, obviously. There are still wars these days, but it's like a big grand war that involves so many people. It's just like crazy to think about. This video is not meant to be like political or anything. I'm not here pro-war or anti-war. I think it's just kind of interesting to look back and say, wow, that was 80 years ago. If any of you guys have any interest in D-Day, specifically learning about it, I should have a link in the description. Maybe I'll post it in the top comment and maybe up here too. Indy and Spartacus over at the World War II channel, they do this really cool 24 hours of D-Day, where like if it's basically a 24-hour podcast where if you start at midnight on D-Day, you can follow it all the way through until midnight the next night, until June 7th. Obviously, by the time this comes out, it'll be a little bit too late to follow it exactly hour by hour, but it's really interesting, and I've listened to all of it. Talks about all the different things that go into planning basically the largest sea invasion ever. I don't know if it's the largest invasion ever. I know at one point that was to Operation Barbarossa, which was still part of World War II. I don't know if Operation Overlord surpassed that. I would think it does, but I'm not a historian, so I don't know for sure. But Indy and Spartacus are professional historians. They talk about all the planning, a lot of the things that are going on, personal accounts, not just from the Ally side, but also from the German side. It doesn't really take sides per se on, like, it's not trying to paint the picture of who was better. It was just, this is objectively what happened. Let me show you, the first-hand accounts on both sides. And it was a big thing. I mean, D-Day's huge. It was like Polish, Australian, New Zealand, Czechoslovakian, Norwegian, Canadian, French, England, or just United Kingdom, and American, plus some other countries that just were involved on the Allied side. And they go... Oops. They go into just all of that. So I find that interesting. And if you have any interest in watching like movies or anything on D-Day, I think The Longest Day is probably one of the best movies out there. I mean, from what I've learned from Indy and Spartacus and their channel, there is some things in that movie that aren't 100% correct, but it's still a very entertaining movie. It's only rated G, but there is, death and war in it, but it's pretty mild, especially compared to like Saving Private Ryan, which is obviously an R-rated movie. Band of Brothers is another good one to watch. Obviously, that follows more than just D-Day, but I find that really interesting. It's on HBO Max. I think you might be able to rent it on Amazon. I'm not exactly sure. Of course, Saving Private Ryan, which has the Omaha landing scene. And there's some good books out there. The Longest Day is a good book. I've only read some of it. I feel bad I haven't read it all. But I just wanted to take some time to kind of remember that on this day, 80 years ago, is kind of when the Allies, at least big time for America, was like, hey, Hitler, it sounds like you want to catch these hands, so we're going to throw hands. And I think that the Russians probably would have taken up the slack and won the war, basically on their own if they had to. Stalin was willing to throw everything that he could at Berlin, but us, the Western Allies kind of getting involved and invading really helped kind of that pincer movement, because right after that is when the Russians kind of started pushing hard again, and it shaped the world as it is now. If we didn't have World War II, we wouldn't have had Cold War. There was stuff that's going on in the world right now wouldn't be the same, and it's just crazy to think about such a huge moving amount of pieces worked almost perfectly. I mean, yeah, there are some hiccups and there are some failed objectives, but it went off pretty much without a hitch. And it's just crazy to think about that the amount of planning and the amount of effort those guys put in, and women, because there were women nurses and women radio operators and even women they weren't SOE agents, they were the French version of that. Indian Spartacus talk a lot about it in their videos. But anyway, I just wanted to take some time to thank all my viewers, as well as thank all the veterans out there. I couldn't imagine what it would be like in the military. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to land on a beach while getting shot at. I can't imagine what, I'm friends with a lot of veterans. There's a lot of veterans who watch this show. And I want to thank them all, because what you guys did, even though you weren't at D-Day, you were still in the military, and that's not something that I could ever fathom doing, ever training to be calm under pressure like that. And yet you guys did it. So thank you all for watching. We will have a regular video after this, more about gaming. But leave a comment if you have anything that you think is good media to consume to learn more about D-Day, Operation Overlord, that sort of stuff. Thank you guys very much for watching, and as always, game on!